was a Saturday morning in the middle of spring, the kind of morning where the light comes in soft and golden through the curtains, the kind of morning where everything feels slow and peaceful. Birds were singing outside. A light breeze moved the leaves in the trees. The neighborhood was still quiet. Most people on the street were still sleeping. Inside the house, everything was calm. The television was off. The kitchen was empty. The smell of the night before still lingered in the air. A little bit of dinner, a little bit of warm wood, and clean laundry. It was a comfortable smell, a home smell. Jake was the first one to wake up. He was 13 years old. He had dark brown hair that always looked a little messy in the morning. He sat up in bed and looked at the ceiling for a moment. Then he looked at his phone. It was 8:45. He put the phone down and stretched his arms above his head. Saturdays were his favorite day, not because of cartoons or video games, but because of breakfast. Every single Saturday morning, without exception, their mom made pancakes. Big, fluffy pancakes with real butter and warm maple syrup. Sometimes she added blueberries, sometimes bananas, but always pancakes, always on Saturday. Jake got up and put on his slippers. He walked out of his room and into the hallway. The hallway was quiet. The door to his sister's room was still closed. The door to his mom's room was also closed. He walked to the bathroom, splashed some water on his face, and then went downstairs. The kitchen was empty. No smell of coffee, no sound of the pan on the stove, no music playing from the small Bluetooth speaker that his mom always turned on when she cooked. Jake looked around. Everything was exactly as it was the night before. The plates were still in the drying rack. The coffee machine was off. The counter was clean and empty. He opened the refrigerator and looked inside. The eggs were there. The milk was there. The butter was there. Everything needed for pancakes was there. But nobody had touched any of it. He walked to the window above the sink and looked outside. The backyard was empty. The 2 chairs on the patio were empty. The garden looked quiet in the morning light. He looked toward the driveway on the side of the house. His mom's car was there, a dark blue car parked exactly where it always was. Jake scratched his head. He turned around and looked at the kitchen again. He noticed something. On the counter next to the coffee machine, there was usually a small notepad. His mom used it to write shopping lists and reminders. The notepad was there, but there was nothing written on it. He stood there for a moment. Then he heard footsteps on the stairs, small and quick. His sister Lily appeared in the kitchen doorway. She was 10 years old. She had long blonde hair in 2 braids that she had clearly done herself that morning, a little crooked but still neat. She was wearing her pink pajamas with the small stars on them.
Good morning. Where are the pancakes?
I don't know. Mom's not down here.
She's probably still in her room.
Her door was closed when I walked past.
So she's sleeping.
Mom never sleeps past 8 on Saturdays, you know that.
Lily walked to the refrigerator and took out the orange juice. She poured herself a glass and took a sip. Then she looked at her brother over the rim of the glass.
Maybe she was tired last night.
Maybe, but she always makes breakfast first, even when she's tired.
Go knock on her door.
I'll go check.
Jake went back upstairs. He walked slowly down the hallway to his mom's room. He stopped in front of the door and listened. Silence. He knocked twice, soft but clear knocks.
Mom, are you awake? It's Jake.
Nothing. He waited 5 seconds. Then he knocked again, a little louder this time.
Mom, you okay in there?
Still nothing. He put his hand on the door handle and pushed it down slowly. The door opened. The room was empty. The bed was made. Not perfectly made like she had been in a hurry, but made. The pillows were in place. The blanket was pulled up. On the nightstand there was a glass of water, half empty, and her book, open face down. Jake stood in the doorway for a moment. He looked around the room. Her robe was on the chair in the corner. Her slippers were on the floor next to the bed. He walked to the window and looked out at the front yard. The street was quiet. A man from down the block was walking his dog. 2 little kids were riding bikes on the sidewalk, but no sign of his mom. Jake went back downstairs.
She's not in her room. The bed is made, but she's not there.
What? Where is she?
I don't know.
Did she go for a walk?
Her car is still here, so she didn't drive anywhere.
Maybe she went to the neighbor's house. Mrs. Patterson's, maybe.
At 9 in the morning on a Saturday?
I don't know, Jake. You're the one with all the ideas.
Let me call her.
Jake picked up his phone from the kitchen counter where he had left it. He went to his contacts and found his mom's name. He pressed the call button and held the phone to his ear. It rang once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. He could faintly hear the ring coming from somewhere upstairs. Her phone was still in the house.
Her phone is here. I can hear it ringing upstairs.
So she left without her phone?
It sounds like it.
That's really strange, Jake. Mom never goes anywhere without her phone. She always says her phone is like her second brain.
I know.
Lily put her orange juice glass down on the counter. She crossed her arms. Her expression had changed. The sleepy Saturday morning look was gone. Now she looked alert, a little worried.
Jake, I don't like this.
Let's not panic. There's a normal explanation for everything.
Like what?
Maybe she went for an early walk and forgot her phone. People do that.
Mom doesn't do that?
Or maybe she went to put something in the mailbox, or to talk to a neighbor.
You said it yourself. At 9 in the morning on a Saturday?
Jake didn't answer. Because she was right. None of the explanations felt right. Their mom was the most organized person they knew. She always told them where she was going. Always. Even if she was just going to the corner store for 5 minutes. She would leave a note or send a text. That was one of her rules. One of the things she always said.
I need to always know where you are, and you need to always know where I am. That's how we keep each other safe.
Jake walked to the back door and opened it. He stepped out onto the patio and looked around the backyard. The garden was quiet. The flowers were starting to bloom, red and yellow and purple. His mom had planted them in the fall and now they were finally coming in. She would have been happy to see them this morning, but she wasn't here. And then Jake noticed something. The back gate at the far end of the yard was not fully closed. It was open just a few inches, a small gap between the wooden gate and the post. His mom was very careful about that gate. She always made sure it was latched. She had said many times that a gate that is not latched is a gate that is not closed.
Lily, come here.
Lily came out onto the patio.
What?
Look at the gate.
It's open.
Just a little, but it's open, and Mom always latches it.
Do you think she went through there?
It's possible.
Where does that path go?
Behind all the houses on our street, there are trees back there, and I think there's a little clearing somewhere. I've seen it from the upstairs window.
Let's go.
Put your shoes on first.
I have my slippers.
Lily.
Fine. 1 minute.
Lily ran back inside and came out 60 seconds later with her sneakers on, still in her pajamas. Jake was already walking across the grass toward the gate. He pushed it open and stepped through. On the other side was a narrow dirt path. Trees grew on both sides, tall and green. The morning light came through the leaves in long, thin streaks. It smelled like earth and morning air.
Mom, are you out here?
His voice went through the trees and faded into the quiet. No answer.
Mom, it's us.
Still nothing. They started walking along the path. Their feet made soft sounds on the dirt. A bird flew between 2 branches above them. Somewhere far away, a dog was barking, but nothing else.
Jake, what if something bad happened to her?
Don't go there, Lily.
I'm just saying, what if she fell? What if she hit her head?
We would have heard something.
Not necessarily.
Lily, stop. One thing at a time. We look first, then we worry.
They kept walking. The path curved gently to the left. After a few more minutes, the trees started to thin out. The path opened into a small clearing. There was soft grass on the ground. A large old oak tree stood in the center. And next to that tree, on a simple wooden bench that looked like it had been there for many years, sat their mom. She was sitting very still. Her legs were crossed. Her hands were folded in her lap. Her eyes were closed. She was wearing her gray sweater, the soft one she always wore on cold mornings, and her old jeans. Her hair was loose around her shoulders. She looked peaceful. but also very far away, like she was somewhere else in her mind.
Mom!
Lily ran across the clearing. Jake followed right behind her. Their mom's eyes opened. For a brief moment, she looked startled. Then she saw them. Her face changed. The faraway look disappeared. She blinked twice and then smiled, a slow and tired smile.
Oh, you found me.
Mom, we were so scared. We looked everywhere for you. Jake knocked on your door and you weren't there. And your phone is in the house and the car is in the driveway, and we didn't know where you were.
I know, sweetheart. I know. Come here.
Lily sat down next to her mom on the bench and leaned into her side. Their mom wrapped an arm around her and held her close. Jake stood in front of them with his arms crossed. His face was a mix of relief and frustration.
Mom, why didn't you leave a note?
You're right. I should have. I'm sorry, Jake.
We were really worried. Lily thought you fell and hit your head.
I didn't say that exactly.
You did kind of say that.
I said it as a possibility.
Both of you, come here.
Jake unfolded his arms and sat down on the other side of his mom. She put her other arm around him. The three of them sat together on the old wooden bench under the oak tree. For a long moment, nobody spoke. The birds kept singing. The breeze moved through the grass. The morning light was warm and golden now.
What are you doing out here, Mom?
Thinking?
About what?
Many things. I had a hard night. I couldn't sleep very well. I kept waking up. At around 6:30, I gave up trying to sleep. I made myself a cup of tea and I sat in the kitchen for a while.
We didn't see any teacup.
I washed it before I came out here. Old habit. I can't leave a dirty cup in the sink.
Classic Mom.
Around 7, I started feeling restless. I needed to move. I needed some air. I remembered this spot. I found it a few weeks ago when I was walking back here one evening. I came out, and I've been sitting here ever since.
But why didn't you wake us up or leave a note?
I honestly thought I would be back before you woke up. I didn't realize how long I had been sitting here. When you're really inside your thoughts, time moves differently.
What were you thinking about that kept you up all night?
Their mom was quiet for a moment. She looked up at the branches of the oak tree above them. A small bird was hopping from one branch to another. She watched it for a second before she answered.
Work has been difficult lately. There are some big decisions coming up, things that affect a lot of people, and I've been trying to figure out the right thing to do, the right path forward. It's not always clear.
Can we help?
You already are helping, just by being here, just by coming to find me.
We'll always come find you, Mom.
I know you will.
Is that why you were crying?
Jake looked at his sister. Then he looked at his mom. He hadn't noticed before, but now that Lily said it, he could see it. The slight redness around her eyes, the way her eyelashes looked a little heavier than usual.
A little bit. Sometimes you just need to let some things out. Sitting out here alone, with the trees and the birds and the quiet, it felt like a safe place to do that.
You can cry with us too, you know. You don't have to come out here alone.
I know that, but sometimes adults need a few minutes to process things on their own before they can talk about them properly. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Not really, but okay.
Their mom laughed, a real laugh, short and warm. It broke through the last of the heavy feeling in the air.
Fair enough, Lily. Fair enough. So, what do we do now?
Now? Now I think we go home. And I think I owe 2 very worried children a very large stack of pancakes.
With blueberries?
With blueberries and bananas.
And extra syrup?
As much syrup as you want.
Deal.
They stood up from the bench together. Their mom looked back at the bench and the tree for a moment before they started walking, like she was saying a small, quiet goodbye to the place. Then she turned and walked with them back along the dirt path through the trees. On the way back, Lily held her mom's hand. Jake walked on the other side, close but not holding hands because he was 13 and that was different now. But close. Their voices filled the path as they walked. Lily asked questions about the birds they could hear. Their mom answered each one carefully. Jake told a joke that wasn't very funny but made all three of them laugh anyway. When they got back through the gate into their yard, their mom stopped and latched it carefully behind her. She checked it twice. Then she looked at Jake and he gave her a small nod. In the kitchen, their mom put on music from the small Bluetooth speaker. She took out the eggs and the flour and the milk and the butter. She put a pan on the stove and turned the heat to medium. Jake stood at the counter and helped her mix the batter. Lily went outside to set the table on the patio. She arranged the plates and the cups and the orange juice and a small bunch of flowers she picked from the garden, yellow ones. The pancakes came out perfectly, fluffy and golden and warm. They sat outside in the morning sun and ate together. They talked about nothing important, about a funny dream Lily had, about a show Jake wanted to watch later, about what they might do that afternoon. Simple, ordinary Saturday things. And in between those simple, ordinary things, their mom reached across the table and put her hand over Jake's for a moment. And then she turned to Lily and smoothed a crooked part of one of her braids. Small gestures. Small, quiet ways of saying what she didn't need to say out loud. After breakfast, Jake washed the dishes and Lily dried them. Their mom sat at the kitchen table with her coffee and watched them. The music was still playing from the small speaker. Outside, the birds were still singing. The flowers in the garden stood straight and bright in the morning light. Later that day, when Jake walked past the kitchen counter, he noticed something. His mom had taken out the small notepad next to the coffee machine, and she had written on it in her neat, clear handwriting. He leaned in and read it. It said, "If I'm ever gone before you wake up, check the bench by the big oak tree behind the gate. I'll be there. Back soon. Love, Mom." Jake read it twice. Then he left it exactly where it was.